Daniel 3 and 91. Deliverance from the furnace. The king Nebuchadnezzar was startled and rose in haste, asking his counselors, "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire?" "Certainly, O king," they answered. "But," he replied, "I see 4 men unbound and unhurt walking in the fire, and the fourth looks like a son of God the Father." Then Nebuchadnezzar came to the opening of the white-hot furnace and called, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out." Thereupon Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out the fire. When the satraps, prefects, and governors and counselors of the king came together, they saw that the fire had no power over the bodies of these men. Not a hair on their heads had been singed, nor were their garments altered. There was not even a smell of fire about them. Nebuchadnezzar exclaimed, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel to deliver the servants that trusted in him. They disobeyed the royal command and yielded their bodies rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore I decree for nations and peoples of every language that whosoever blasphemes the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut to pieces and his house made into a refuse heap. For there is no other God who can rescue like this." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar to the nations and peoples of every language, wherever they dwell on the earth. May your peace abound. It has seemed good to me to publish the signs and wonders which the Most High God has accomplished in my regard. How great are his signs, how mighty his wonders. His kingship is an everlasting kingship, and his dominion endures through all generations. Chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar's madness. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at home in my palace, content and prosperous. I had a terrifying dream as I lay in bed, and the images in my visions frightened me. So I issued a decree that all the wise men of Babylon should be brought before me to give the interpretation of the dream. When the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and diviners had come in, I related the dream before them, but none of them could tell me its meaning. Finally there came before me Daniel, whose name is Belteshazzar, after the name of my God, and whom is a spirit of the holy gods. I repeated the dream to him. "Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians, I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and no mystery is too difficult for you. This is the dream that I saw. Tell me its meaning." These were the visions I saw while in bed. I saw a tree of great height at the center of the earth. It was large and strong, with its top touching the heavens, and it could be seen to the ends of the earth. Its leaves were beautiful, its fruit abundant, providing food for all. Under it the wild beasts found shade, in its branches and birds of the air nested. All flesh ate of it. In the vision I saw while in bed, a holy watcher came down from heaven and cried aloud at these words, "Cut down the tree and lop off its branches, strip off its leaves and scatter its fruit. Let the beasts flee from beneath it and the birds from its branches, but leave it stump in the earth, bound with iron and bronze. Let him be fed with the grass of the field and bathed with the dew of heaven. Let his lot be with the beast and the grass of the earth. Let his mind be changed from a human one. Let the mind of a beast be given him, till 7 years pass over him. By decree of the watchers is this proclamation, by order of the Holy Ones this sentence, that all who live may know that the Most High is sovereign over human kingship, giving it to whom he wills and setting it over to the lowest of mortals. This is the dream that I, King Nebuchadnezzar, had. Now, Belteshazzar, tell me its meaning. None of the wise men of my kingdom can tell me the meaning, but you can, because the spirit of the holy gods is in you." And Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was appalled for a time, dismayed by his thoughts. Belteshazzar, the king, said to him, "Do not let the dream or its meaning dismay you, my lord." Belteshazzar replied, "May this dream be for your enemies and its meaning for your foes. The tree that you saw, large and strong, its top touching the heavens, that could be seen by the whole earth, its leaves beautiful, its fruit abundant, providing food for all, under which the wild beasts live, and in whose branches the birds of the air dwell. You are that tree, O king, large and strong. Their majesty has become so great as to touch the heavens, and your rule reaches to the end of the earth. As for the king's visions of a holy watcher who came down from heaven and proclaimed, cut down the tree and destroy it, but leave it stump in the earth, bound with iron and bronze. Let him be fed with the grass of the field and bathed with the dew of heaven. Let his lot be with wild beasts, till 7 years pass him. Till 7 years pass him. Here it is, the meaning. O king, here is the sentence that the Most High has passed upon my lord, king. You shall be cast out from human society and dwell with wild beasts. You shall be given grass to eat like an ox and be bathed with the dew of heaven. 7 years shall pass over you until you know that the Most High is sovereign over human kingship and gives it to whom he will. The command that the stump of the tree is to be left means that your kingdom shall be preserved for you once you have learned that heaven is sovereign. Therefore, O king, may my advice be acceptable to you. Atone for your sins by good deeds, and for your misdeeds by kindness to the poor. Then your contentment will be long-lasting. All this happened to King Nebuchadnezzar. 12 months later, as he was walking on the roof of the royal palace in Babylon, the king said, Babylon the Great, was it not I, with my great strength, who built it is a royal residence for my splendor and majesty? While these words were still on the king's lips, a voice spoke from heaven. It has been decreed for you, King Nebuchadnezzar, that your kingship is taken from you. You shall be cast out from human society and shall dwell with wild beasts. You shall be given grass to eat like an ox. And 7 years shall pass over you until you learn that the Most High is sovereign over human kingship and gives it to whom he will. And once this was fulfilled, Nebuchadnezzar was cast out from human society. He ate grass like an ox, and his body was bathed with the dew of heaven, until his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle, and his nails like the claws of a bird. When this period was over, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes to heaven. My reason was restored to me, and I blessed the Most High. I praised and glorified the one who lives forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and whose kingdom endures through all generations. All who live on the earth are counted as nothing. He does as he wills with the powers of heaven and with those who live on the earth. There is no one who can stay his hand or say to him, What have you done? At the same time, my reason returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and my splendor returned to me. My counselors and nobles sought me out. I was restored to my kingdom and became much greater than before. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, all of whose works are right and ways just, and who is able to humble those who walk in pride. 5. The writing on the wall. King Belshazzar gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his nobles, with whom he drank. Under the influence of the wine, he ordered the gold and silver vessels which Nebuchadnezzar's father had taken from the temple in Jerusalem to be brought in, so that the king, his nobles, his consorts, and his concubines might drink from them. When the gold vessels were taken from the temple, the house of the father in Jerusalem had been brought in, and while the king, his nobles, his consorts, and his concubines were drinking wine from them, they praised their gods of gold and silver, bronze and iron, wood and stone. Suddenly, opposite the lampstand, the finger of a human hand appeared, writing on the plaster of the wall in the king's palace. When the king saw the hand that wrote, his face became pale. His thoughts terrified him. His hip joints shook, and his knees knocked. The king shouted for the enchanters, Chaldeans, and diviners to be brought in. Whoever reads this writing and tells me what it means, he said to the wise men of Babylon, shall be clothed in purple, wear a chain of gold around his neck, and be third in governing the kingdom. But though all the king's wise men came in, none of them could either read the writing or tell the king what it meant. Then King Belshazzar was greatly terrified. His face became pale, and his nobles were thrown into confusion. When the queen heard of this discussion between the king and his nobles, she entered the banquet hall and said, O king, live forever. Do not let your thoughts terrify you or your face become so pale. There is a man in your kingdom in whom a spirit of the holy gods. During the lifetime of your father, he showed brilliant insight and godlike wisdom. King Nebuchadnezzar, your father, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, Chaldeans, and diviners. Because this Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar, has shown an extraordinary spirit, knowledge, and insight in interpreting dreams, explaining riddles, and solving problems, let him now be summoned to tell you what this means. Then Daniel was brought into the presence of the king. The king asked him, Are you Daniel, one of the Jewish exiles, whom my father the king brought from Judah? I've heard that the spirit of the gods is in you, that you have shown brilliant insight and extraordinary wisdom. The wise men and enchanters were brought in to me to read the writing and to tell me its meaning, but they could not say what the words meant. But I heard that you can give interpretations and solve problems. Now, if you are able to read the writing and tell me what it means, you shall be clothed in purple, wear a chain of gold around your neck, and be third in governing the kingdom. Daniel answered the king, You may keep your gifts or give your presents to someone else, but the writing I will read for the king and tell what it means. The Most High God gave your father Nebuchadnezzar kingship, greatness, splendor, and majesty. Because he made him so great, the nations and peoples of every language dreaded and feared him.
Thank you so much, Father.